It's Friday again. What's up? Well, today I have a friend from Iceland visiting who's going to tell us a little bit about what it's like to learn English there. But first, can you tell us your name?
My name is Vilhjálmur Þrastarson, but you can call me Villi.
Okay, good, Willie, thank you. And when did you start learning English?
We started learning English in school when I was around 10 years old. We learned it in the 5th grade. But I believe that as soon as you start learning to read, you kind of start to learn English, because all the shows that we have on our television usually are in English, but they have Icelandic subtitles. So slowly, but watching television a lot, you start learning English by reading the subtitles.
Did you have any famous or favorite TV shows that you liked to watch when you were younger?
Yeah, like The Simpsons. Usually, like after we're done eating, we went to the main TV area. And we started watching on Simpsons, and from that, yeah, that's kind of the cartoons from like where we had on the kids channel. We used to have an Icelandic subtitles on that, so that was as well.
Are there any expressions from The Simpsons that pop into your head, like Bart or something that they always say?
Duh. That's one that's famous, like "eat my shorts."
Yeah.
That's a classic one.
That's how you sort of create new language, new expressions. And you play video games too, right?
Yeah, like that's another way we learned through video games. Like Ratchet & Clank was a big one. Yeah, that's like the first and the second and third was a really big influence in my life. So, and with school we used to do some poetry. Because I really like poetry, so we made our own poetry. So that always went well. Trying to figure out what rhymes with time. Then like, oh yeah, that word. And then that kind of also started to teach us English.
Are there any poems that you remember that you learned in English? Did you ever memorize any poems by heart?
Not by heart, but it was more the fact that we made our own that was kind of like, but I don't remember any at the moment.
But you made your own, and therefore you felt more ownership of them. Ah, that's a great point, that when you create something yourself. And if you want to sell us to come to Iceland, what would you say about Iceland?
Well, we have a lot of like volcanoes that are non-active. That's fun to see. Geysers. We don't have a lot of trees, but we make up with that with like different sites, like more of flatland, and you see more of that.
And is Norway a lot different than Iceland?
Yeah, especially with like trees, because every time I step outside of my home, I feel like I'm in a jungle now. So that's one thing, because Iceland has barely any trees around, but here, like if there's not a house or a road, it's usually a tree there.
So if you're going to write a poem about trees or no trees, how would you start it?
Norway has a lot of trees. The ones who always follow me are the bees, and go on from that.
Yeah, but that's kind of fun, because you just find words that rhyme and then you put them together in a sentence. What do you call English in Icelandic?
Enska.
Enska? Enska. It's interesting that it's all a common language, but we have different words for it.
Yeah, Icelandic is just really old Norwegian.
Yeah.
We're just really stubborn, didn't want to change anything.
That sounds good. And why do you think it's important that we should learn English?
It's because most communications go with English when you try to go internationally. So it's really good to have like that basics, so you can communicate, like me going to school in Norway, but it's taught in English.
Are there any other languages you learn in Iceland besides English and Icelandic?
Yeah, we learn Danish. Some learn Spanish.
And if you're going to say thanks for now in Icelandic, how would you say that?
Takk fyrir mig. Sjá næst.
There you go. Thanks very much.